All right, y'all. We're back. Y'all been waiting and waiting and waiting. And now we're about to do it. I got my brother back again. He is going to tell us about how to win in another area. He already told you how to win in the trucking game, but some of y'all say, man, I can't drive no truck. Can't leave my wife and my children for that long. I can't do this. I can't do that. Okay. The brother came back with another way to try to win if you're trying to put yourself in business. And all of us should be trying to put ourselves in business. All right. So I'm going to bring my brother up, Brother Correy, um, and he's going to tell us about how to win with Navy Federal. Brother Correy.
How you doing? How you doing?
Man, doing good, doing well in sunny Los Angeles, man. But how you doing, brother?
I'm good down here. I'm in Georgia, so East Coast, South, south of the East Coast. Everything's all well over here. The weather's nice, so I can't complain.
Right on, man. Well, I was just telling the people, man, that you know you're going to come and tell us about this Navy Federal situation. So
Mm-hmm.
I know you got things to do today, so I'm going to get right into it, brother. What is Navy Federal, and what is that? What is that? A credit union or a bank? Or what is that?
Yeah, Navy Federal, like a lot of people know, it's like one of the biggest credit unions in America, basically. It's another one that I think that's bigger, Penn Fed, but I like credit unions because they're more lenient when it comes to credit and stuff like that. They base a lot of their credit making decisions off of your relationship with them. So that's why it's
Okay.
always good to have a big bank, a small bank, and a credit union. So Navy Federal is like one of the best at that. So
Okay. Okay. And so when I saw the video, man, you was talking about getting business credit with
hmm
Navy Federal. So
hmm
first of all, what do you need business credit for? Why would I need business credit?
well, when you branch off into start your own business and stuff like that, it's very important that you start separating your personal from your business. And that's the way a lot of people do it. That's the way it should be done if you really break it down. Because when you're starting your business, like for me, for example, I had to use a lot of my personal credit history to get my business started. But once you done piggybacked off of your personal credit, basically you want to start transitioning everything over into the business credit. So to
Right.
make a strong business profile, you are going to need some personal credit. And but once you get the business credit started, you can start getting things in the business name just by itself, like houses, cars. If you're in a trucking business and stuff like that. If you start a business, or if you're an entrepreneur, it's definitely a good idea to start building business credit, building a strong business background. So
Yeah, man. So give me some like examples of how business credit could help you try to build your business.
okay. A perfect example of business credit. Let's say, for example, if you're not familiar with credit and utilization, let's take just say you go buy a truck, because we talk about the trucking industry, or a car for that matter, like, and you're
Right.
going to use it for your business. The perks and benefits of it is that's a tax write-off. For example, if you don't know, if you're in the trucking business and you purchase a semi truck and you put that truck in your business name, you don't necessarily have to put it in your business name either. So, but if you did everything the right way by putting that truck in your business name, the truck's way over 6,000 pounds easy. So you can write off the full amount of that truck. And, basically, if you have a business started. So when you start getting to things like that and build a business credit, then you have those options. You have those options to, go to the bank and apply for a car, a truck, or you can even put houses, believe it or not, on your business name. And then by you
Wow.
doing that, those debts don't show up on your credit, on your personal credit. It don't affect your personal utilization. So you keep your business clean. I mean, you keep your personal credit clean. And then if something happens, of course, all you doing is personally guaranteed. So they're gonna, you know, hold you responsible, for the payments and things like that. But if you decide to do something personal or buy yourself a car for yourself or whatever the case, you use your personal credit for it, those big time purchases won't show up on your personal credit.
Wow. 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 So let's get into the Navy
Mhm.
Federal Credit. So Federal Credit Union is the credit union that will help you kind of like get your business credit started. And how would they do that? How do they do that?
Well, I wouldn't recommend Navy Federal for starting business credit, and I'll tell
Okay.
you why. Because Navy Federal it's not necessarily for established businesses, but
Okay.
Navy Federal, the only reason why I wouldn't recommend Navy Federal for starting business credit is because Navy Federal is one of the banks that is not going to report to anybody. So if you,
Okay.
which this can be a good benefit, because the way that would benefit someone like me, or is that, let's say I already have other, and I'll get into some other things that you can do for if you want to start business credit. But for Navy Federal, for example, this would work for an example like if I want to go out and I want to buy a car or a truck. I can go and apply for a business loan with Navy Federal. They're going to approve me based off of my personal credit and my relationship with them. But once I get approved and once I go purchase the vehicle or the truck or whatever the case, they're not going to report it to anybody. They're not going to report it to your personal credit. They're not going to report it to business credit either. It's on
Okay.
my business, yes, but they're not going to report it to anybody. Now, the reason why that's major, that's a major game changer is because let's say I want to double dip, meaning that I want to go buy a car using my Navy Federal business account. They're not going to report it. I can go use my other bank. I can go to Bank of America and say, hey, I want a car or a truck, and I can apply for a truck with them. They're going to report it. Now I was able to purchase two vehicles or two
Right.
trucks or whatever the case may be, and not having it affect anything at all. So that's the good part. That's one of the main reasons why you want to use Navy Federal. Now, when it comes to Navy Federal, anybody can't just get in. You have to know someone that's in the military or know someone that has Navy Federal already. And you also have to already have a personal bank account with Navy Federal. You can't just jump in and say, hey, I want to go open a business bank account with them. You're going to have to go and have first a personal checking account, personal savings account. You don't have to either or. It don't have to be both of them, just a savings or a checking. And then you'll be able to open a business account with Navy Federal. So, but the main thing about Navy Federal is that you can get credit cards. They do finance trucks because I know, a lot of people watch me from the trucking community and stuff like that. So they do
Right.
finance trucks, trailers, equipment, any type of business. They do real estate. They do all of that different type of stuff. And the good news about that is that like you can use them if you're trying to get more than one piece of equipment or more than one property. You can use them because they're not going to report that. So that's a game changer. And Navy Federal is probably like the only bank that I know for sure that operates that way.
Now you say that you can't just. It's not like a regular bank. You can just walk in there and just sign up and get it. You got to know a military member, or you got to
Mhm.
already be in there, or somebody that already has an account
Right.
there, right?
But we all know somebody
Right.
that's in the military. And if you don't, if you got friends or whatever, you can ask them like, hey, you guys, you use Navy Federal, and they'll be like, no, or they know somebody that use Navy Federal. That's pretty much all you need. They don't really have a real hard process to become a member with them, but they do want that referral from somebody. So
Right. 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 And so now after you set up when you get in there, like you said, you can't just walk in there, get an account. I mean, sign up and then go straight to the business account. You got to have at least a checking account, right, or a
or
personal checking
savings, yeah.
account.
Yeah, a
Yeah, or
personal
savings
account.
account. Right. Right. Right.
Mhm.
And so when you do that, is there a time limit for when you can, like, say I go in today, I set up a checking and savings account. Is there a time limit? I have to wait 30 days, 60 days or something before I can start applying for business credit?
There's no time limit. I do recommend that you at least establish the account, wait, 30 days, 60 days or something like that. But it's no official time limit on that. But personally, I'll give it some time just so I know that everything's going to be smooth with it. But I think I spoke with them about that and they said no, but they do, like I said, they base a lot of their credit decision making off of your business relationship with them or your personal relationship with them. So I would say give it some time, deposit some money in there, have some money going in there. And then once you have established that personal account, then you can, open the business account with them. So I would say wait a couple months. You can try it. It don't hurt to try it. You can always get the personal account and ask them about, the business side, and they'll tell you exactly what it takes to qualify for the business account. But it's a very the process is not like a traditional process, like you can walk into the bank and open an account. They do have like a detailed process that you have to go through in order
Yeah.
to get an account. The personal account is easy. The business account, it's easy, but you have to take some time to get it all set up. So
Okay. So when you open up a business account now, do you suggest that you open up a business account in your name, or do you suggest you get an LLC, or what is your suggestion on how to construct it business wise?
I recommend everybody start a business under a business name or LLC, because the goal behind business and business credit is to separate yourself. You want your business to operate by itself. Yeah, you're going to be, the owner, you're going to be controlling things, but it's a good idea to really own nothing but control everything. So that's
Right.
why when it comes to cars
Right.
and stuff like that, I put those type of things in the business name. I have full control of it, but I don't personally own it. So those
Right.
things won't come back and affect me in no capacity, because I'm separating myself and operating and
Right.
controlling things through a business.
Right. Right. So when you go to Navy now, do you think they'll look at it more favorably if you come in a business name? Because some people, I don't know, whatever, they don't understand what we're talking about as far as separating everything. Do you
Mhm.
think that they will look at it more favorably? In other words, maybe extend you more credit because are already, you went to the point of setting up an LLC or a business
Mhm.
now, DBA. They look at it like, okay, this person really serious about the business. We can extend more credit. Do you think they do that, or
I Now, if you would ask them, they would say that they don't. Everybody is not required. You're not required to start a business. You can do business as a sole proprietor, right? You can
right,
start a whole business and run everything under your name. You can even get a tax ID number under your personal name that's separate
right,
from your social security number. But
right,
like when you're doing business and stuff like that, it looks more professional to have a business established, a LLC. So when you have those things established, I do feel like they would, extend more credit and be more lenient in that way. But if you have strong personal credit, it's not going to matter. But if you have, some challenges with your credit, it's a good idea. I think you will save yourself a lot of, bumps in the road down the line if you just have an established business. It's not that
right,
hard. I would say just, I set everything up myself, depending on the state that you live in, you can set it up yourself, or, they got companies out there like LegalZoom and some of these places that'll
right.
do it all for you, for whatever that they charge. You can look it up. But
Yeah,
um, just establish a business. It's always a good idea to have a business for multiple reasons. Even if you're not, I recommend, even if you don't have any type of service or product that you have or provide, everybody should have some type of business established, because
right,
society, especially America, you know, they love small business owners. They
right,
love entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs and business owners are the ones that get the most tax breaks. They're the
right,
ones they're the ones that get the most of everything. While, if you are middle class, or you got a real good job and you're making all this money and you are a W-2 employee, you're going to get taxed way differently versus a
right,
small business owner. So
right, right, right. So, okay, so how did you get put up on Navy Federal? How did you get that information?
well my my father-in-law is in the military.
Okay.
And so I had Navy Federal way before I was going to use them for business or anything like that. I had them
Okay.
for just regular personal bank accounts, which I converted those accounts over, and got, my kids got bank accounts with them and things like that. And also too, I
Right.
have a personal credit card with them. business credit cards, because like they are the most generous. Like immediately when I applied for my first credit card with Navy Federal, they gave me a $20,000 credit limit.
Oh,
Versus everybody else who I, got credit cards with, they start you out with 5,000, 2,000, or whatever.
right.
Navy Federal out the automatic approval, $20,000 credit limit. So, if you look around and do research, you can see it. It's all over. People talk about Navy Federal, especially on YouTube all the time.
Right.
They're one of the most generous banks when it comes to, or credit unions when it comes to, extending credit limits and things like that. So like I say, a lot of that stuff is based off of your personal banking relationship with them, and that's what they use to determine a lot of their credit making decisions when it comes to whether they want to give you credit cards and stuff like that. I bought a car. I bought a car when I was maybe 20 years old, 24 years old, something like that, through Navy Federal, very low interest rates and stuff like that. And credit
That's
wasn't,
what I was going to ask you about.
yeah,
Okay.
my credit wasn't nearly what it was now. It was like, barely 600 or something like that.
Right.
And I had one of the lowest interest rates, that you can get, just because I was a member with them. So those are some of the benefits that you get when you become a member of like a credit union, and, you bank with them and they can see your personal banking history.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to start a business. I got a business idea. I want to go to Navy Federal to borrow some money. Are their interest rates really good? I mean, compared to the regular market?
Yeah, their interest rates are very competitive. Like they're gonna because you remember with them, they're gonna want to show you the most. They're gonna want to give you the best rate that you can get. And then especially like if you been with them for a while or whatever, or if you just started with them, just by coming to them, they're going to make sure, because you remember, that you're going to get one of the best rates out there. And also some of it is going to be depending on what your credit score is, but I would say a lot of it will be, let's say you can go apply for somewhere else, you'll get denied, but Navy Federal will approve you because you bank with them. Right. But yeah, their rates, they have really good competitive rates. They have mortgages. They have all the business products. They have all the personal products too, like personal credit cards, mortgages, car loans. I don't think they do motorcycles, but but I think that's like the only thing they don't do is motorcycles, because I ride motorcycles too, and I think I looked at them for a motorcycle at one point. But yeah, but they have all the products you need as far as getting credit, stuff like that too. And also, if you are working on your credit, trying to build credit, they have programs for that as well. They have the secured credit cards, so you can help build your personal relationship. Now, that's a good way to get into. If you don't have the best credit, you can start off with someone like Navy Federal to start building your personal credit, and then you can transition that to bigger cards and business cards and stuff like that too. So they are a good bank to start with for your personal credit if you don't have any credit at all, or if you're rebuilding too.
So how if they don't report, how do you build your credit with them?
No, they don't report business. They report personal credit.
They report personal.
Yeah, they report personal credit. Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Absolutely. They definitely report personal credit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so when they do the business loans, or they do what's the one that the lines of credit? Do they do lines of credit as well?
They do lines of credit. They do personal lines of credit, and they do business lines of credit.
Oh my God. Oh my
yeah.
God.
So now think about that. Just think about like what I said, that they don't. If you have a business line of credit with them, they don't report that to your credit bureau. So let's say you got a business line of credit for $10,000, and you like, you know what? I need $5,000. You can go to your business line of credit, transfer that $5,000 to your bank account, and now you have the $5,000 that you can spend on whatever you want. But
Right.
That $5,000 is not going to show on your credit.
Right.
Your personal credit, let alone your business credit, because what affects credit the most, especially on the personal side, is utilization, and it's across all your cards. So if you have, let's say you have 5 credit cards, and they each have $1,000 limit, right? So altogether you have 5,000. So the the credit bureaus don't look at it like, well, you got one card maxed out and you got one at zero. They're going to look at all your credit cards at a whole. So if you're using, let's say you're using 2,500 of that 5,000, you're using 50% of your credit utilization. That's going to drop your credit score and make your credit look bad to the banks when you go to apply for new credit. But if you made that decision to put that $5,000 on the business side, your credit wouldn't be affected by that utilization.
Right.
So that's why it's important to have purchases and put them on your purchases, things that you purchase, put it on your business side. I don't purchase anything on my personal credit, really not anymore. For that fact alone, all my personal credit cards are at zero. I make sure I don't carry any balances on my personal credit cards. Now, if it's something that I wanted to buy, let's say it was a little pricey, and I would like I wanted to pay it off in over time or so, I would definitely put that on a business credit card and let that utilization be on the business side instead of being on my personal credit. So having both is a luxury because I can pick and choose depending on the situation on how I want to handle situations financially.
Wow, man, that's heavy, man. A lot of people don't even know that, man. So if I got 3 cards, I have one maxed out and the rest are at zero. That's going to hit my credit bad. That's going to have a negative effect on my credit.
Yeah, well, unless you got high limits on the other cards, because the credit bureaus or, they don't want to see no more than 30% utilization. And if your credit limit is 1,000, let's say you have $1,000 credit card and you spend $300 on it, that's already at the 30% just spending $300. So that's why. And so if you have multiple credit cards and you have, a total of, 40,000, 50,000, because in order to achieve personal credit that's excellent, you have to have at least $50,000 credit limit, to even get into the excellent category. So you have to have multiple cards to achieve that. But, people have 50,000 and have those type of credit limits and are not responsible with it. That's how you can find yourself in, credit card debt. That's why we have all these commercials all the time talking about, we can get you out of this credit card debt. But so it's like they want you to have it, but you have to use it responsibly. And they love the people that use it responsibly, but the way they make money is off of the people that use it irresponsibly.
Right.
So you have to pick and choose what part of the game you want to be in. Do you want to be in the game that's going to benefit you to where they love you because you pay your credit cards on time and stuff? Or do you want to be in the part of the game they love you because they eating real good off of your they eat real good off of the interest that you have on your cards because you're not paying your credit card balances, and stuff like that. So but if you use them responsibly, you can definitely capitalize off of that. And then once you learn the game, start putting things into the business name, then you'll be good. I'll tell you what I did for credit card balances. What I did was, when my credit cards was kind of out of control, right? Let's say I owed $8,000 because when I first started my trucking company, I put everything that I needed on a credit card, on my personal credit cards to get started, right?
Right.
That's what got me going. And then revolving those balances, it held my credit in the 600s, in the low to mid 600s. For the duration, it was like it would not get better and not improve because my credit utilization was too high. Right. So what I do is I go to the business side. Now that I'm building business credit and stuff like that, I go get a business loan, take the money, pay off my credit cards. Credit score immediately went into the 700s. Wow. Because now my credit utilization is zero. And then that debt is on the business side and it's not showing on my personal credit.
Right.
And then now by me doing that, I wasn't paying interest on my credit cards and stuff like that. That allowed me to pay the loan back within the first year. So because I wasn't spending all this money on the credit cards and stuff like that. So the point is what I want to make sure I let people understand when you get into the business, especially if you want to start using credit to leverage your business and using credit, stuff like that, make sure you use it responsibly. Like, don't
Right.
spend money that you don't have on credit cards, and can't pay it back, because that's going to make your business fail faster than anything,
Right.
by getting yourself in personal debt. So I just want to make sure I say that, because, if I start talking about all these different tactics that you can use to leverage your personal credit and get business credit and get business funding and get $50,000, $100,000 in funding, and you think it's just free money and you can go out and do whatever with it, they'll be like, oh, Corey told me to go get this money, and now everybody after me. So make sure you got a
man, we
real
gonna get
purpose.
Corey, man. We gonna go get him.
Yeah, make sure
All
you
right,
got
brother.
a
Let's
real
talk
purpose.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Income versus credit. Hold on one second. Sister Don, good morning. Good day to you. Good morning. We just got Brother Corey here talking about credit situation. So good morning to you. It's one of my hardcore believers right here. True believers right here, man. All right. So Brother Corey, now, like you said, we don't want people to think, oh, well, they just giving out free money over there. Now you found That's what Corey said. Corey said just giving you, all you gotta do is come in with LLC, and then they just giving away free money. No, that's not what the brother's saying. So now we're gonna talk about that. Now we're gonna talk about the other side of it, which is just because you can get this credit don't necessarily mean that you should get it. It's a responsible thing for you to do if you don't have the income to be able to support it. Now, can you talk about that, Brother Corey?
Yeah, because believe it or not, they're not gonna do no income verification. Really, they're gonna ask you, "Hey, how much you make?" You can say, "Yep, I make $50,000 a year," and they're gonna say, "Okay." So that's a good thing. That's a good benefit.
Wait, hold on. Did you say they're not gonna verify your income?
No, they're not gonna verify it. So
easy, Brother Corey. Easy, Brother Corey. You know how you're supposed to get.
That's why, depending on your credit, right? It's easy to obtain it. That's how That's how you can feel like you can go and use that and leverage your credit and do whatever you want to do. But that's not the case. I only use my credit to buy assets. So if I'm going to use or buy anything, it's going to be something for my business. When I go buy equipment, or when I go to buy another truck or something like that, those are things that's going to make money. I'm also looking into getting into the rental car business with Turo and stuff like that. I could go to the dealership and buy 4 or 5 cars at one time.
Wow.
And it's not going to affect anything. So those are the type of things that you can do. So I can go buy these cars, put them on Turo, rent them out. Now I got an additional income coming in. So when you start leveraging your credit, you can buy assets that's going to make money, that's going to pay for themselves without affecting your personal credit at all.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But at the same time, if we're going to use our business credit, for the most part, we want to have it to where, like you said, you buying assets, or you buying something that's going to at least have a future, making money in the future, right? Either making money right now and or in the future, right?
Yes, sir.
Because we don't want to be having people go out there and get a $50,000 loan. And then I knew a gentleman that inherited a house from his parents. He inherited a house from his parents. And the first thing he did was go out and get $100,000 Mercedes Benz. Borrow money to get a Mercedes so he could drive around.
So he mortgaged the house.
Correct.
And got the
free and clear house. Free and clear house. He mortgaged the house so that he could buy this Mercedes Benz that he wanted to drive around in. And I thought to myself, I said, that's crazy. I could see you doing that to buy another house or apartment building or something, right? Or investing in a bid like you talk about. You got a business. But see, that's what we need to talk. We need to really get the people to understand that this ain't just for you to get money so you can go out there and stunt with everybody. This is about, Brother Corey is here telling you how to, build yourself up business-wise and personal-wise, and with the most protections, and do it in the same way. We ain't trying
Right.
to say you're gonna be a millionaire in 2 days. We just saying you could slowly walk into millionaire status if you really want that, and if you really want to take care of your family. The brother's trying to tell you how to do it in the right way. So Brother Correy, when you get in this business credit and you buying things in the business, let's take for example the example I gave you about this brother, man. He bought this car through a bank. Like I think like or I don't think like a bank, but probably from a dealer, right? I mean,
Right.
just a double whammy, right? It's on your credit, plus
Yeah.
the dealer is gonna just nickel and dime you to death, right? And then
Right.
on top of that, I know the brother's credit was horrible. I know they probably got him for the interest rate at all. He probably paying 20-30% interest rate, right? But if he would have did it, let's say he even still would have did something like that. If he would have did it with Navy Federal, it wouldn't have been on his credit, right?
Right. But he would have had to have business started. Now let's say
if you bought it under a business.
Let's say I wanted the car that bad, right? I wanted
Right.
this Mercedes that bad. And I got this free and paid for a clear house. I don't know a route that I would have taken to do that. But let's say I do what he did. Let's say I did mortgage the house.
Okay.
And to buy this Mercedes. Like you said, he could have put it in a business name that way, because already by him mortgaging the house, they don't put that on his credit. So now he got the house on his credit, which if his credit was horrible, that could benefit him, because now he has something that's reporting positively to his credit report. And then he wanted this Mercedes or whatever. Like if he don't have the option to lease it and he wanted to buy the car, then yeah, he should have went to somewhere where he could have had put that car in a business name before he put that car on his personal credit. But that just was a smart thing to do. But first, let's talk about I guess like how if you start from scratch, how you can get business credit started if you have personal credit, right? If you have personal credit, it's going to be super easy for you, because you can just leverage your personal credit and get a business credit card, and that's going to start reporting to your business. So good starter business cards, I would say Capital One. I know we're talking about Navy Federal, but if you want to get started with credit, like if you ain't got no business credit at all, you want to start getting trade lines on your credit. Some trade lines that you can get is like, Quail, QUILL. It's basically a net 30 account that if you go to the website, they have like products and stuff that you can buy, household products. They have anything that you can really name. They have gloves, all type of different stuff that you may need. And what they do is, when you purchase these items, you don't pay for it right away. They're going to invoice you. Okay. When they invoice you, your bill for the items that you purchase, you pay that invoice back, and that purchase, they report that to your business credit. So they add that trade line to your business credit report. You can do that with another one called Granger. You got another, like if you got fuel cards, you can get fuel cards. You can put fuel cards in your business name, like, the Shells, the Pilots. These are gas stations, basically. You get their business cards, and, you add these trade lines to your business credit. That's how you can do it if, you don't have so good personal credit. If you have good personal credit, you can go out there and get the Amazon bank accounts. You can get the Sam's Club credit cards and stuff like that. And you need all of these trade lines to start reporting to your business credit. So once you get these trade lines report to your business credit, at least a year or so, then you can start applying for business funding, like business loans and stuff like that. So that's how you really get started with the business credit. I think you should start with a bank that you're right now. All of us have bank accounts. So whoever you're banking with right now, you can ask them, do they have business products? If they have business products, they'll probably be the easiest to get a business bank account with too, because you already been with them, so you use them to start with. So I had Bank of America. So Bank of America was my first choice to get my very first business bank account. And
Okay.
then I started branching off. Like I said, I went from the big bank because I was already banking with Bank of America. Then I went to a small little local bank here in my city, and I got a business bank account with them. And then, of course, I already had a relationship with Navy Federal, so I got a business bank account with them. So now I have a big bank, a small bank, and a credit union, right?
Okay.
So you want to have these banking relationships. So when you do need something, you have options. You have
Right.
options to go to see who's gonna give you the best rate, to see who's gonna give you, the financing that you need or the funding that you need for your business and stuff like that. You have more than one option. So if I go to Bank of America and buy a truck, Bank of America, they're gonna report everything. They report,
Right.
um, the purchases, not the purchases, yeah, the cars or the trucks or whatever. They're gonna report that to your personal bank account or your business bank account or whatever. And then let's say I'm gonna go and I'm gonna buy another car. I'm gonna go to Navy Federal because they don't report at all. So those are the type of things that you do. Now, also too, bank account, business credit cards do report to business credit, but like I said, those don't report to your personal credit. So like if you got American Express, and I like American Express because once you get an American Express ecosystem, like you apply for your first American Express card, I can apply for another one. They're not going to pull my credit again.
Oh,
So
okay.
those are the type of relationships that I like because now I can go to American Express. Once I had my personal bank account, I mean my personal credit card, I applied for the business credit card. They didn't pull my credit, and now I have a credit card that I can use for anything, and it's not going to report to my
Oh,
personal credit report.
okay.
So um, you came up with a good idea. You said, you should, I talk about a lot of this stuff on my channel already, but I should look into putting something together like a step-by-step process with it because it's a lot that goes into it. But once you get it all set up and get it established, it'll come to you like second nature as far as understanding it. And you can figure out very easily how to use it to your advantage when you want to do anything, anything, take trips or whatever the case may be. It's so much stuff that you could do.
And we got people online right now, brother. We got people online right now, and
Mhm.
they are charging these people a pot of gold for what you're telling us right now. And if you
Yeah,
had a little ebook that I had to pay $20 to show me how to set all this up properly, I'd give it
yeah.
to you in a minute, brother. I give it to you, or 40, whatever. I'd give it to you in a minute. I'll give it to you in a minute, brother. So my suggestion, put that together next time you come on, have one, and then we can say, hey, go here and buy this book. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
but that's all right, man.
yeah.
I'll stay on top of your head for that, man. I gotta stay on top of you guys to do this stuff, man. But that's okay. I'll stay on top of you, man, because you leaving money on the table, brother, smart as you are.
Leaving
Hold
money
on
on the
one second.
table. I'm just happy to be helping, helping people, you know, get educated about this because that's just all it is. Like we wasn't taught this type of stuff in school or anything like that. So it came to me just by paying attention to the people that don't pay attention to nothing that we do. So you look at the rich and the way they move, they don't involve themselves in certain stuff that we pay
Right.
attention to, and you wonder why that is. But I know a lot of people, they hate Donald Trump, but when Donald Trump was in office, I'm not gonna get into no political stuff, but they said Donald Trump don't pay no taxes. I read my eyebrow raised. I'm like, how this man, this
Right.
man a billionaire and all this, and he don't pay no taxes.
Right.
And us that's in the middle class and people that's on housing assistance and all this other stuff, every little penny you make, they want a piece of it.
Right.
But you got this billionaire that don't pay no taxes at all. So I started doing research on how they handle business and how they make purchases and you know how they handle business basically. And then it
Right.
comes to find out that it's not in reach for anybody because anybody can really get it. It's just that they're not going to teach it to you. They definitely don't want you to
Right.
know about it. And then when you figure it out and find out about it, they want to sell it to you because they
Right.
know that people would pay for this information. So
Well, one of the things about it, brother Corey, is you know how your folks are, brother. If you give it to them for free, they may not look at it for a year, but if they pay for it, they will look at it right away. They will say, "Hey, I spent this money. I got to look at this thing and see what's going
Right,
on. I don't want to waste my
right,
money, man."
right.
So that's
Yeah.
unfortunately the way most of us are. Especially our folks, man. You know what I mean? But my sister Don, let me check out this chat. Sister Don, you really should put this great information that young people need to hear. Yeah, brother Corey, man, you leaving stacks of money on the table. But hey, what can I say, man? Sister Don, yes, me too, bro Clarence. Yeah, I know I'd buy it too if he had he put together little ebooks. That's all right, Sister Don. I'm gonna stay on top of him. I'm building a relationship with him. Like he talk about building a relationship with these banks. I'm building a
Yeah,
relationship
that's
with
right.
him.
That's right.
I'm gonna stay on top of him. Next time he come, man, he gonna have books in his hand. He gonna have them up like this. But anyway, bro Corey, now you were talking about building, starting out. See, because a lot of people don't even have credit or they have bad credit. Okay, so let's start there.
Okay.
Okay, so a person have bad credit, right? Now, I mean, you have to get into step by step, but just basically give me a line of how they could go from having bad credit, how they could use Navy Federal to walk into having, better credit and being able to do the stuff you were talking about with as far as the business lines of credit and such.
Okay. So Navy Federal is a good option, especially if you got bad credit, because you can. The first thing everybody need to do right now, if you don't already, is download Credit Karma, Credit Sesame. I got all of them, Experian apps, right? You need to download all of these apps on your phone, because we keep our phone all the time. I use a computer. I'm sure, Brother Clay, I know you use a computer for a lot of this stuff, but most people, they do everything from their phone. So download these apps onto your phone and figure out exactly what it is on your credit report. If you got a lot of delinquencies, I know, stuff happened and you had to go to the hospital, you got medical bills and all of these type of things. But some of the stuff like, that you just neglected to pay and you said, forget it. Depending on how old it is, it's going to be a waiting game for a lot of people, because I don't recommend paying charge off and collections after they're 4 or 5 years old, because believe it or not, at 7 years, they're going to fall off anyway.
Right.
So, now you just got to wait it out if you damaged your credit in that way. Right. So the next thing you want to take a look at is the accounts that you have that are positive. Right. So if you got a car payment, you making all your payments on time, you got credit cards, but they're maxed out. Your maxed out credit cards, I would look into getting a personal loan and paying those credit card utilization. You'll see your credit score go up 100%, because the main thing that's holding down your credit scores is your credit utilization. Credit cards, I know a lot of people, you will hear a lot of people say, oh, I don't want credit cards. I won't never deal with credit cards ever. But believe it or not, credit cards is like one of the main things that make your credit score, good or bad. It can affect your credit score. Not having a credit card can affect your credit score. Your credit score would never go above a certain threshold if you don't have credit cards.
Right.
So let's say your credit is, you don't have the best credit or whatever. You want to start there. Start with getting your first credit card if you don't have any. If you have outrageous credit card payments, try to find a way and figure out a way. Like my man, he figured out a way to buy that new Mercedes. I bet if he would have took some of that and paid his credit cards off, he would have been able to, but figure out a way to get those credit card balances down, and you will see your credit score go up, which is going to open the opportunity for you to get more credit cards and stuff like that. So start there. Now, let's say you can't really get a traditional credit card, which is kind of tough because they got like so many different ones that you can start with, but you can start with a secured credit card with Navy Federal. What they do with the secured credit card is, let's say it's going to be whatever you want your limit to be. So if you want your limit to be $500, I recommend trying to get the most that you can put together. They start at about $250 that you can put, but try to get $500, $1,000 if you can, right? And then you give it to Navy Federal. They're going to put it into a savings account, and they're going to use that as your credit limit. And then what they do with that $1,000, when you use that money, you have to pay it back. It's your money. You will get it back if you decide to close the card or whatever. But for as long as you have that account open, that's going to be your credit limit. So you have $1,000 limit. You use $100, you pay it right back, and then at the end of the month, because you want that credit card to have a zero balance. So at the end of every month, every cycle, they're gonna report that to the credit bureaus.
So Corey, you
That's how
saying
you
you want to have
start.
a zero? You saying you want to have a zero balance at the end of every 30 days?
Yes, you want to have zero balance at the end of 30 days on all your credit cards. I know it's kind of hard to do, especially if you're just learning this information. It's kind of hard to do because I didn't know this information either. It took me downloading these apps, paying attention to what affects my credit in a positive way and in a negative way. So we know if you go and buy something or have them check your credit, it lowers your credit score. And what I ran into and recognized even before all these people that are making YouTube about it videos now is if you don't know about your credit utilization when you go get these credit cards, that's the main thing that's holding down your credit score. So you want to pay that. They say 30%, but I've tried 30% too. Once I got it to 30% credit utilization, it still was at a certain threshold. They want to see 6%. Now I can tell you this for a fact. Let's say me, for example, my credit cards are zero. Let's say this month I decide to go Christmas shopping and I buy some stuff. And I'll be like, you know what? Let's say I buy $1,000 worth of stuff for my family, friends, everybody. They're going to have a good Christmas, right? And I decide, you know what? I don't want to pay this whole $1,000 off right now because you don't have to. All you have to pay is the minimum. They tell you to only pay the minimum because when you pay that minimum, they're gonna make money off you because they're gonna charge you interest on that $1,000. So that's why they don't care. They be like, you know what? Sure, just give us $25. So that other $975 that I'm rolling over, they're gonna charge me interest on that, right?
Right.
So
compounded daily, right?
right. So that's how they make money. That's how they make money off you. So that's why I say zero. Because I say zero because I don't want to pay no interest on that. That's number one. It doesn't. You can get a credit card and they say the interest rate on this credit card is 50%. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't care. You know why? Because I'm gonna pay that card off to zero. Right. Everything that I spend on my credit cards, I pay it to zero. I don't pay no interest on none of the money. Not to mention, all my credit cards are rewards cards. So I'm getting money back just for using the credit card. You know? So if you buying stuff like me, I spend maybe $500-$600 a week on fuel, and I put it on a credit card, I'm getting so much cash money that I can redeem as real money, real cash. So that's where you can start at. You get your first credit cards, pay them to zero. Don't roll over 30%, 6%. Now, like I said, this over all your credit cards. So if you only got one credit card, you definitely have to pay that to zero because that one card affects your whole credit utilization if you only got one credit card. If you got one credit card, you definitely want to have the zero because they're going to look at your overall credit, all your credit cards as a whole, and your whole credit limit as a whole to determine what your credit utilization is. So once you do that, now you can look into getting some business credit cards. So you got to go ahead and start your LLC now. If you got businesses, if you're a truck driver, and you know that's what you want to do, you want to go ahead and start the business now, because I tell people this too. Let's say I'm in trucking school and I know that I want to get my own authority later on down the line. I'm going to go ahead and start my business name now, because let's say after I get out of school, my business is already going to be 2 years old. Right. It's going to already be an established business. Right. So you can already go ahead and start getting credit cards in the business name and all this type of stuff, before you even get your own trucking stuff going and start making money doing it. So the first thing you want to do is start taking the necessary steps, see what's on your personal credit report, start getting positive trade lines like credit cards that you're using and paying on them responsibly. If you need a car, look into getting car payment, something low and affordable, because at the end of the day, you're going to have some type of debt on your personal credit to build, because they're going to need to know your ability to pay back. you have to have a mix. So most people, especially, that around my age, they done had car payments and stuff before. So you should have some positive stuff showing. But if you don't, if you're brand new to this and you're a young, young lady, young man, definitely look into getting your credits, start building your credit using credit cards and pay them to zero every single month.
Okay.
And that alone will put your credit score, especially if you brand new and you don't have any negative things on your credit. You can get a 700 score real quick, because you're brand new.
Right.
When you damage your credit, it's hard. That's hard to come back from.
Right.
But starting out on the right foot, starting out on the right track, you will save yourself some headache from having to damage your credit and have to start to rebuild it, because they don't like to see people. They'll give you a hard time, to try to redeem yourself if they know you got a history of, damaging credit.
Brother, I got a question for you. You were saying get a personal loan to pay off credit card debt. Now, where do you suggest getting a personal loan from to pay off personal debt? Because a lot of times, if you get a personal loan, the interest rate's going to be high as well. So where are you suggesting to get this personal loan from?
You can get them from Navy Federal. I would whoever I have a bank account with right now, that's going to be my number one option, because they're probably going to be the more likely one to give me a loan for anything, especially if it's a debt consolidation loan. Now, I would make a sacrifice if my credit cards are outrageous and I'm paying all this interest on my credit card. I might take a high interest payment on a loan, because that interest payment on that loan is going to be fixed. So if I get a $5,000 loan, right, the interest rate, let's say it's 30%, and my payments is $350 a month. I know that payment is only $350 a month. I'm not saying only, but it's not going to fluctuate like it was with a credit card.
Right.
With a credit card, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. So I know every month that payment is going to be $350, right? So I will budget that out. I will budget that $350. And now, as time go on, 1 year go by, 2 years go by, that loan payment actually is helping my credit now, because now I have an installment account that I made all my payments on time, never missed a payment. So that's showing positively on my credit. And then I took the money and paid off the credit card. So now I don't have that utilization showing on my credit report. So now that's going to help me both ways. That's going to help me lower my credit utilization, and I have a positive trade line that's reporting a positive credit history to my credit report, even though that interest is high. So I would make that sacrifice with that high interest payment on a personal loan just to pay off that credit card, to get the utilization down and not pay the interest on the credit cards month to month. I'd rather have a fixed payment versus a fluctuating one with credit cards.
Man, you got all this information, brother. I don't know why we don't have no but that's okay. I'm gonna stay on top of you, brother Correy, because we're gonna get these books out. Sister Don, wow, great info. I got a little work to do. I never paid a full balance, just to be honest. Yeah, he's giving a lot of good information.
Right. Most people don't, because they don't know how it's really affecting their credit.
Right.
I would say a lot of people don't even check their credit that often.
Right.
You don't check your credit that often to even know what's on there or even know how it's affecting your credit. Because like I said, I sold cars for a long time. I can't count how many times someone came into the dealership to buy a car, not even knowing what's on their credit at all, or what their credit score is to even buy a car, So a lot of times it's just not knowing. I stay on top of my credit reports all the time. Like I said, I have it on my phone, and
But brother Correy, let me ask you a question. Because they always say, oh, checking your own credit damages your credit. When you check it, you're only supposed to check it once a year, and it don't, and it damages your credit. Is that true, or is there a way you can do it without damaging your credit? Stay on top of it.
Credit Karma. Credit Karma. Like you can check it, you can just pull it up right on your phone and you can see it. Like, you know, it's
But you know what
that's
I'm
not an
saying, bro,
inquiry.
Corey? But you know what I'm saying? They say that every time you look at your credit, it damages it. So looking at Credit Karma is not going to damage your credit?
No, not at all. What damages your credit is getting a hard inquiry.
Ah,
They're talking in terms of checking your credit, um, checking your credit with a hard inquiry. Like that's like if somebody you can probably do a hard inquiry on yourself, but I don't know why nobody would do that. These reports that I'm talking about, Credit Karma, it's very accurate, and I know it because I use it like all the time. I go in there and I look. It have every single account that I have on my personal credit report, and
okay.
even the closed accounts, the accounts that are not closed or that are now closed. It shows on there, so it'll give you a good snapshot of what's on your credit report. With what's affecting it, what's hurting it. Everybody, you definitely should have, and it's free. There's no reason
Okay.
why you shouldn't have Credit Karma on your phone and know it's too much information and apps that are out there that are very useful for you not to know what's on your credit report. So you need to download Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, and Experian. All of those are free, and they'll give you all the information that are on your credit report right now so you can start to work on some of these things. They're going to tell you exactly what your credit utilization is. You're going to know exactly how much you owe on this card, that card, and you can look at them all together so you can put together a plan to try to get these balances paid down.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. That's see, I didn't know that, man, but that's good. I'm glad I just learned something right there.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Don Frank, yes, I damaged my credit years ago. We all did, Sister Don. It's
Mm-hmm.
been some work to improve it, but this info is going to help me to get it even better. Yeah, you're gonna have to come back and watch it on a replay a couple times, Sister Don, because
Yeah.
I know it's a couple things I missed while he was talking, so I'm gonna have to watch it again
Listen,
myself.
when it work, start with the credit cards. Like even if you have to, if your credit cards is out of hand, um, you can close them. You can call the. I don't recommend closing the cards because that's going to take away, uh, take away. I recommend getting the loan and paying them, to get them down. But before you let them affect your credit all the way, you can close them. That way, they'll take away the interest. And
Okay.
when they take away the interest, now you're just paying down what you owe them. You won't have to pay you don't have to pay that interest because it's tough. I've been there. Like I had a credit card that's maxed out, right? And let's say it's 5,000 and I maxed out the whole 5,000. What happens is when it's time for me to make the payment, 1 month that payment be 250, and then the next month, you pay that 250, right? That only took off, $250. So now you owe 400, 408.50 or whatever, right? And then when that interest hits again, it raises it right back up to 5,000. So it's like a never-ending thing with
Right.
credit cards, especially if you max them out.
Right.
So the only way to defeat it is you're going to have to be able to at some point pay more than that minimum balance, or you're going to
Right.
owe them money forever.
Right.
That's why the solution is, if you got credit cards like that and they're out of hand, you chances are you could get a debt consolidation loan from somewhere. And I would use that to pay those credit cards off. And I would have that payment over here. Yeah, the interest might be high, but you will see a drastic change in your credit score
Okay.
just from doing that.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Definitely, man. Brad, I also want to ask you. Oh, well, let me say this real quick. Yes, Sister Don, I use Credit Karma, and it does help. Yeah, Sister Don, please post info on the channel. I'm gonna I put his page on the last one. I put his page on this one, and then I actually post a link to the video where he actually talked about Navy Federal. I put that in there as well. I wish he had a book, but he don't have a book. So what can we do? Man? We gotta
We're
leave.
gonna have the book.
We got to leave $1 million on the table, Sister Don, because he won't put the book together. But that's okay. I'm gonna stay on it, brother. Brother got so much good information. I got to stay on him. Anyway, brother Correy, couple quick questions.
Okay.
Number one, you suggest paying down your credit keeping a zero balance. Oh, I know the question I was going to ask you. How often should you check your credit? If you can check it for free, how often should you check it?
When I check it all the time, like I don't know. You don't have to check it
I
all
mean,
the
with the
time, but
least
like I
amount.
said, like for example, Credit Karma is on my phone, right? I just open the app and then boom, it's right there. So it's not like you have to go and you know type in all your information and put your name
Right.
and phone number, email, and all the stuff in to check your credit report. You know, you can literally just open your phone. You can open your phone and just click on Credit Karma and it pops up like immediately. So you can check it as much as you want. You know,
I'll
I
put it
check
in.
it.
I'll put it in the box. I'll put
Yeah,
it in the description. Credit Karma.
yeah, you could check it as much as you want. Like I click on Credit Karma right now, I can see my full credit report right now. You know, it's just that simple. Just click on it, and you could take a look at your credit at any time. But I use it mainly for to see what's affecting my credit and what affecting my utilization. So like if I got like a car payment or whatever on my credit or my mortgage payment or whatever, you know, I typically see how much it takes off because that's the only thing that's going to show how much really came off the balance, really, you know, that balance that's being reported to the credit bureau.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's say you got a $1,200 mortgage and you make that payment, you can see exactly how much of that 1,200 went to that balance of your house, you know,
Right.
stuff like
Okay.
that. That's how accurate it is. You can see exactly all the accounts that you have, the money that you pay on your payments. You can see exactly how much money of that actually went towards the principal and not all to the interest when you're looking at your credit reports and stuff like that. But you can use it also to get the phone numbers to some of these accounts that you have delinquent, you know, that you can call them up and try to ask them, can they remove it? You know, say some of the time a lot of people don't know that, like, if you got something that's delinquent, you can say, hey, you know, if I make the payment, would you remove it completely from my credit report? And they'll be like, yeah, that's a good trade-off. Because if you pay it, sometimes they'll just leave it on there. They'll mark it as paid, but it's still going to reflect negatively when you go to make a purchase of someone, when you go to apply for funding or credit and someone pulls your credit and see that you had it on there because it didn't get completely removed. So you can check it. You can check it at any time. It's not going to hurt your credit. Like I just checked mine just now. It's just that simple. It's an app on your phone. Just open the app and it pops up immediately. It shows your credit scores and you can look at the history and stuff like that. People, if you go to my channel, you know my credit. I show people my credit score, so you know it's no secret because that's just how much I know that can work with the credit cards and stuff like that. I know that it works. I've done the research. I've experimented on it with myself, and then I put that information out there for everybody to utilize it and apply it for themselves because I know that it works, you know, and people that's in my family that comes to me about their credit, and I put them through the same methods, like pay off them credit cards, pay down that utilization, and you can literally pay. If you got a credit card right now, put $500 or something on it, like something that's going to change that utilization just a little bit, and watch your credit score go up. It's going to go up immediately because that's the main thing. That's like one of the main things that's holding down your credit. You can have derogatories, all type of stuff, especially if the derogatories was on there for like a long time. Like let's say you had something that you ain't paid for 3 or 4 or 5 years at this point. That's really not hurting your score no more like you think. It's your credit utilization on credit cards. And if you don't have no credit cards and all they have to go off of is your delinquencies, of course your credit's going to be horrible because you don't have nothing that's positive reflecting on your credit. You don't have a car payment, you don't have a house, you don't have a loan, you don't have no credit cards. All you have is something that you didn't pay. You know, so now the banks don't got nothing to go off of. You don't have nothing positive reflecting on your credit or anything for your credit to even improve, to improve, you know?
Right. Now that's all good information, brother. And I know you said you only had like an hour, and we had an hour and 4 minutes, man. So you gotta let me know when you're ready to go, brother. Because you know,
All
I
right,
got.
it's fine. If you got some other questions, I can
I
get
do,
you.
I do, I do, because
Okay.
we have cats out here, man, that'll say to you, okay, if your credit is bad, instead of correcting your credit, just do one of these, you know, they help you get a whole new social security number, whole new credit uh file and all like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a little familiar with that, but not that familiar with that. Is that something that is you suggest doing something like that?
Um, it's no real way to do that. Like I've heard of that being done. I've heard of them saying, "Hey, we can remove and take everything off your credit report." Um, I haven't seen any real evidence of that.
No, brother,
Especially
I'm talking about there's cats out here saying, we ain't gonna remove this off your credit. We just gonna get you a
right.
whole new credit. We just gonna give you a whole new credit account. Like, in other words, you got all this bad stuff under this name. We're gonna give
Mm,
you a new name and a new social security number and all of that stuff. I know what
nah.
you're gonna say, but I'm just asking you the question anyway, because we got people out here that's always trying to figure a shortcut around everything. So we want to have a clear understanding of where we come from as far as how we would handle something like that. What do you say to something like that?
I would say I don't that don't sound legal for one. Like you know, that's like
It's not.
you can't have a multiple identities, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, you can only when we born, we only assign one social security number. You
Right.
know, you can't just get another one.
Right.
So but I've heard that though. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone that actually been successful with doing that. So I can't really speak on that. But it is ways to get around certain things, and you can do it with like building business credit. Because if you can figure out a way to build business credit and you got horrible personal credit, it kind of go hand in hand, especially if you want to buy something big. They're going to check your personal credit because they're going to want you
Right.
to personally guarantee it. But you can still obtain a lot of the things that you want while you work on your credit. What I really recommend is time. Especially if you're young, you know, start turning things around, start getting positive things to reflect on your credit report, and then you're just going to have to wait it out 5 years, 7 years. You know,
Right.
you're just going to have to wait it out. If you got to the point to where you know negative things or delinquencies been reported to your credit history, a lot of times, you know, like I say, people don't check their credit report anyway. So 4 or 5 years already done passed by. So now if you go and take a look at your credit, you be like, you know what? I'm about to start getting my credit back together. If you see some of those things on your credit report, just write it out. Start getting some positive things to reflect on your credit report, and those negative things are going to fall off in the next few years, and then you're going to see a drastic change in your credit report. So that's why you want to start getting positive things. Even if you have bad things on your credit report, you can offset some of that stuff with getting some positive things to report. You know, and some of those positive things you can start with. The main thing you can start with is applying for some credit cards, even if you have to get a secured one.
Yeah, now, brother, let's get into secured cards. Secured cards, now you say you can get that from Navy Federal as well, but you can get them from Capital One and pretty much all of the different credit companies out here. You can get a secured card. And what would be the benefit of having a secured card?
The secured card is a good starting point, because once you get that first one, then you pay that one, keep it for 6 months, a year, you'll be able to apply for a traditional credit card, an unsecured one. They're going to offer you a line of credit. So now you'll have two positive credit accounts that are reporting to your credit report. And that's going to reflect positively. So now you got two accounts. So if you got bad accounts, like I said, on your credit report, now you got two accounts that are in good standing that you're paying on time. So you just keep you just keep with that momentum until, you know, some of the other stuff start to age and roll off your credit and stuff like that. And if it's some things that you can pay and they were willing to remove it, look into stuff like that. But a lot of times, like I tell people too, you know, we be going to the store and buying all this other stuff that's unnecessary. You know, if you put that focus and that energy into paying off your credit cards and putting your credit in good standing, you'll be able to get a lot of these things no problem. So it really depends on the individual too. Like if your goal is to build your credit up because you want to buy a house, or you want to, you know, purchase a truck, you know, start your own trucking company, then you need to start working on your personal credit right now, you know, because that's what's going to help you in the long run. Some people don't desire any of these things, and you know, if that's the case, then you really don't need credit, you know. But if you want to start a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to take advantages of all the luxuries that, you know, the wealthy people have and stuff like that, they use credit. You know, I don't use debit cards. You know, I use credit cards because I get money for using them. You know,
that's the question I was going to ask you. Okay.
Yeah, I get money for using them. I use my credit cards for everyday purchases. So when I go to the gas station, or I go out to eat, or you know, or if I buy some new shoes, or if I buy anything, my phone bill, you know, the utilities and stuff like that, I use all credit. So all of the stuff that I had to pay for anyway, you know, I had to buy all this stuff anyway, I'm getting cash back for using my credit cards. And those are the type of benefits that you get when you pay attention, and you have credit cards, and you have good credit and stuff like that, and you have rewards cards. I can fly for free. I can get free hotels. You know, it's all when you got good credit, you get a lot of benefits and stuff that's beneficial because you have a good financial credit history.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
right. Now I want to ask you about what's the difference between a regular credit card and a rewards card and a debit card? What's the difference between all these different cards, brother?
Right. A debit card is just attached to your bank account, right?
Okay.
You know, so you got a bank account, your money's in there, they give you a card. So if you need to go to the ATM to get some money out, you know, you can use your card. You know, if you're at the store, you use your debit card, they taking that money right out of your bank. They taking that money from your bank account balance. You know, that's a debit card. You know, those are horrible because you're not getting anything from it. It's no benefit. If you lose it and somebody go to the store and they swipe your card, that money came out of your bank account. You know, if they did that to my credit card, that's not my money. I could just call the credit card people and say, "Oh, I lost. You know, my credit card was stolen." They're going to put that balance right back. They're going to eat that. You know, credit cards are insured that way. If I lose my credit card and somebody maxed it out, I'm not responsible for it. I'm not liable. You know, if they did that to my bank account, yeah, Bank of America, they'll probably give me my money back. But you gonna see your balance leave because they actually got a hold to your actual real money that's in your bank, right? So that's a credit card. Now, the rewards cards is basically like you get, let's say you get points, or you get a percent cash back. Like let's say I have a 2% cash back card. So every dollar that I spend, I get 2% back. Okay. So when I pay my insurance on my car, when I pay my insurance on my, you know, say my trucking company or business or whatever, when I pay all these things on my credit card, I'm getting 2% back of everything. I'm getting that money back. So why wouldn't I use the credit cards when they're gonna give me cash back just for using the card? Right. So that's why I use credit cards. Now a secured card is, like I said, basically, you know, that's basically how you start rebuilding. You have to use your own money. So if you can't get a credit card nowhere, you get denied for credit cards everywhere. They just want you to prove yourself, basically. So they say, okay, well, give us a deposit. You know, however much you want it to be, it have to be at least $250, but you can give them up to $5,000. You can give them however much you want because that's what's going to be your credit limit. They're going to hold on to the money for you, and they're going to give that to you as your credit limit. You have to pay it back too because they're reporting it. So if
Right.
you think, you can't just think, oh yeah, it's my money. Yeah, it's, I gave them the 5,000, I can just spend it
Right.
and I can pay it back whenever. No, you have to pay it back to zero, just like a real regular credit card. And they're going to
Right.
report that activity to the credit reports. And then you have that, and then you can graduate. I like Navy Federal ones because their card actually graduate. What Navy Federal would do is, let's say you give them that $500.
Right.
After 6 months to a year, they're gonna say, hey, what, you know what, you was doing a good job. Here go your $500 back, and we're gonna give you $1,000 credit limit. You know, that's called graduation. Navy Federal have a program with the secure cards to where you can put down an initial deposit, and that card can graduate to a real credit card.
Right. Right.
They even have the secured ones. They even have, Navy Federal even have a secured reward card. So
Wow.
they'll give you points back. It's only like 1%, but it's still a cash reward card. You're going to get something back for using it.
Wow. Wow. That's man. Everybody should be having this information. You should get it right when you come out of high school, but you know,
Yeah, they should
unfortunately,
teach a course in school. They should have classes in school.
well, they used to, man. I'm gonna get political for just 1 second. They used to, and the credit card companies in the 80s, they lobbied Ronald Reagan to remove those classes from the high schools, man. And so he did it. But that's a whole other topic.
That makes sense. You know why? Yeah. Because they want us right where we at.
Exactly. They
was like, we can't have this.
Yeah.
There's gonna be too many people with access to too much information that only the wealthy deserves.
And like you said, brother, you know, it's the people that don't know that's paying for your rewards. Right. They paying for your rewards, right? Like, because they know they're going to get so much money off the people that aren't aware and just paying that minimum balance. They can reward the people that's not doing that. That's that understand and know
they sure
have
can.
Information, man.
Yeah. So they're making money off that, and they're getting a kickback from the merchant. So at the stores, they gotta pay to have these credit card terminals, you know, in there. That's why if you go to like a store in the hood, they want to charge. They be like, oh yeah, you gotta buy a certain amount. You gotta buy at least $5 because they gotta pay for that credit card terminal.
Right.
So the people that got good reward cards, the banks be like, you know what, we're gonna give you a kickback. So we want you to use this card as much as you can, as much as you want. You can use your credit limit, and then we're gonna give you 2% back. You know, and that's how now they got now we got cash rewards cards, and cash reward cards ain't been around that long. I don't know exactly, but it's been not even 10 years. I don't think. But now it's here, and now, you know, that's just another thing for us to take advantage of, you know, by doing it the right way. You get you a cash reward card, run it up, but purchase things that you would normally buy anyway. I got to pay my phone bill anyway. I got to pay my insurance anyway. So I use my credit card for that, and then I pay it right back. Once it posts, I pay it back. If I need to go a week or whatever, but I never let it go and revolve over till the next month, because I don't want to pay interest on that money, and I don't want that reporting to the credit bureau either. So
now, brother, when you say, okay, I'm gonna ask you something a little personal. So when you say you pay the things that you buy, like maybe groceries or the phone bill or something having to do with your personal residence or your personal situation, right? Do you also do that on your business credit, or do you do that on your personal credit? Because you said you use your credit cards. So which credit cards do you use to do? I'm not talking about business stuff. I'm talking about your personal stuff. Which ones do you use?
All of them. I use any one. Because like I honestly I don't revolve things on my business credit cards either. I like to keep those at zero, because, you know, I'm that's kind of like what I'm trained to do now. Like, you know, it's like a natural thing for me to like have all my credit cards at zero. But it do be sometimes, like, you know, that I'll go and I'll buy something, or let's say I took my truck to get the service done on it, and the service was $1,000 or whatever. And so I paid that, and I had to pay the insurance. And let's say I racked it up to $2,000 or something. That'll be on my business credit card, because what will happen is I'll say, okay, I'm gonna pay half of it this month, half of it next month, right? I'll let it revolve on my business credit, but I really don't like doing that either because, like I said, they're going to charge you interest. So that's why the interest is the main reason why I don't like revolving balances. But
Right.
if I'm going to revolve a balance for whatever reason, it's definitely going to be on a business credit card.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I just want people to know, man, the best way to go about doing it if they're going to use credit cards. Because most of us, like you said, man, we were never taught how to do it. We watched our parents do it and they didn't know what they was doing. And
Nope.
we most of the time. And so, but the thing about the rich people is, like you said, it's not that they cheating. It's just that they have more information to access to learn how to do this stuff in a way where they don't pay no taxes. But from our vantage point, it looks like they cheating. Hey, I got to pay these taxes. You got to pay taxes, so much more in taxes, because you don't know how to structure your finances in a way where you don't have to do that. Right?
That's exactly right.
And
I didn't take that approach. When I heard that, I was like, well, I want to do it too then. I want to go. I didn't take the approach like I'm about to hate on them because they don't want to pay their taxes and they don't want to do this and that. I'm like, well, you know what? Me neither. I don't want to pay. So I'm gonna figure out what they got going on because that sounds like it's beneficial. It's beneficial.
So, and see, here the thing is, man, in my opinion, I'm gonna let you finish, Brother Correy, but let me say this for the people listening.
No, go ahead.
So it's a big shell game, brother. It's a shell game. So they have the laws one way, right? And they benefit the rich. And as soon as enough of us figure it out and start applying those laws to each other or to the common man, they switch the thing around again. They switch it around again. So the thing is, you have to realize that you have to keep up with what people are doing so that you can know, okay, because they'll tell each other, hey, we about to switch the game around. So, you know what I'm saying? And if you ain't paying attention, you still stuck over here when the ball is over here, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, information you're giving out now, in 10 years, it might not be the same because they might switch the game around, right?
That's politics.
Right.
That's politics.
So you got to keep up with brothers like Correy. You got to keep up with brothers and people that's giving you information because they stand on top of it. They stand on top of it. We got to learn how to stay on top of that kind of information too. You know what I mean? So anyway, I want to put that out there, man. Please finish what you were saying.
That's the politics of it. But I'm right there with them. They making these changes. I want to be the first to know about it because it's a way, whatever way they do it, right? The one thing that's kind of pretty consistent, like, I know they get away with a lot of stuff, but if we doing things that are within our laws, it's free game for everybody. But they want to keep. That's why the tactic is to keep you in the dark about it because they can't keep it from you because it's in our laws. So it's open and free game for anybody to do it. But as long as they keep us in the dark about it, then they can continue to make money off of us, take advantage of us, and all of these things because we just simply don't know.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and that's what I want. I want us to get the information and to start looking at it as, okay, like you said, you ain't cheating on your taxes. You just know more than me. So I need to know what you know. And so I got to find out what you know so that I can not pay taxes too. And then, but see, like I said, you got to understand, just like the stock market, right? The stock market, when enough people buy a certain stock, a lot of times people especially these crypto scams, they wait until people buy so much and they drive the price up and then they just start selling it so they can make the money off of it. So it's just, you got to watch what's going on all over all around you so you can get the most benefit out of what's going on, man. So I had another question, brother. I just forgot it. Wait, I had another question I want to ask you about the credit industry. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. Okay, now you're talking about the secured loan, right? Okay, so when let's say, like you said, you open this account for, let's say, $1,000, right? When they loan you that when they give you that $1,000 as credit, or let's say you borrow 500 or you take 500 out of it, they're going to charge you interest on that, right? It's not like you're just getting your money like out of a debit card, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to charge you.
Yeah, it's going to be like it's going to be similar to like to it's an installment agreement. So
okay,
if you take out the $1,000, right, or you say you get a loan for $1,000, and they're going to give you a term. They're going to say, okay, well, you got 24 months to pay us the $1,000 back.
Okay.
So it's easy to calculate what the interest is, because let's say, let me do some easy math real quick. So let's say I took out $1,000, right?
Right.
And they gave me 2 years, 24 months to pay it back. That means my payments with zero interest is $41, right? $41 a month. But you may see that to pay that loan, they say, okay, $60 a month for 24 months. So $60 a month for 24 months, you paying back $400, you paying back $1,440. You know, so that's how much extra you'll be paying back to borrow that money. But that part of it is not going to affect your credit. That's not going to show up on your credit.
Oh, okay.
Interest is not going to show up on your credit. So yeah, that's what I meant by a sacrifice. I'm sacrificing paying more money back. Yeah, I got to pay back this $440. Well, I'm paying $440 extra, but I took that $1,000 and I paid off my credit card, and my credit utilization is zero. That's going to look good on my that's going to look good on my credit report. And believe it or not, I got this loan. The loan company is reporting every month that I made my payment on time. I made my payment on time every month. That's good credit history. So now I'm getting good credit history from having a loan. So I got to pay back the extra money. That's a sacrifice, but I'm getting good credit history for having that loan. And I was able to pay off my credit card to get my utilization down. So that's two positive things that affects, you know, my credit report.
Right on, man. I mean, brother, you know what? Just the fact that you cleared up the fact that you're not going to get charged by, and I don't know if you guys hear this, but, you know, I'm going to say this for the people on the replay. This brother just said today that you do not get charged for looking up your credit on Credit Sesame, Credit Karma, and what's the other one?
Experience. Because Credit Karma and Credit Sesame, they don't show Experian reports, because it's three of them, right? You got Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Credit Sesame only have TransUnion. Credit Karma shows you your Equifax and your TransUnion. So to get your Experian report, Experian, they got their own system. So you can just download the Experian app and you'll have access to all three of your credit scores.
Okay.
Right. But now, the main thing for those, though, I don't really use them for my credit scores, because they use a Vantage score, which is basically an estimate of what your score is by the information that's on your credit report. The main thing that I use these apps for is to know exactly what's on my report and how I can improve. So I know, like I just told you, I know you need to look at your credit utilization, work on getting that down, work on getting positive things added to your credit report if you don't have any credit history. So open credit card accounts, pay them on time, and you can see that as soon as you open an account, 30 days later, you go check your Credit Karma or whatever, you're going to see that account reported. And it's going to show you how exactly it affected your credit score. Did it make it go up or did it make it go down? New accounts for new people typically make their score go up. For established people, if I open a new credit account, it's going to drop my credit score for some reason. But over time, it goes back up. So it's just a never-ending cycle when it comes to that stuff. But just keep in mind, the rule of thumb is having a low utilization with good payment history. Those two things right there is put you in success for having a good credit history, a good credit report, and you'll be able to buy anything you want, you know, anything you want that you can afford. You know, you can be able to use that credit to buy assets that's going to make you money, and then you use that money to buy your luxuries and lifestyle.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's talk about. I'm not trying to hold you, man, but you're giving us so many jewels, brother Corey.
Yeah.
It's hard to let you go, brother. Now let's talk about income versus credit. Now we talking about building. Let's get back to business. We want to build a business, right? Okay, so let's say I want to buy a piece of equipment, 10 grand. It's $10,000 piece of equipment. I know when I buy this equipment, it's gonna work. The business is gonna explode, right? But the payments on the equipment is gonna be like $500 a month. Now, if I buy this equipment and should I gamble? Let's say I'm not making I got access to the 10,000, but I can't make the $500 a month payment just yet. And should I gamble and say, well, I'm gonna just do it? Should I gamble or should I just say, nah, let me wait until I build up enough income?
A lot of that is a gamble, but you know, if you believe that it's gonna work, then I would. You got to take chances. You know, you got to take chances. I did it. I started my whole business using my credit cards. You know what I'm saying? So because I knew in the trucking business that I can buy this truck. You know, I financed the truck. I paid the down payment for my insurance and all this stuff. Not working one day yet, but I knew once I took that truck and lease it on and start making money with it, I'll be able to afford the loans and the credit card payments that I took out to get this stuff, and I'll be able to pay the truck payment as well. So yeah, but you know, those are the type of sacrifices that you got to make, and you got to understand. Make sure you buy something that you got a plan. See, I had a plan when I did it though. I didn't just do it blindly. My plan was I'm gonna go finance this truck, and I'm gonna go lease it over here, and then I should be working, and I should. You know, the probability is high that, because I already knew that no matter what, 1 week I should be able to get the truck payment up. So yeah, you should definitely take chances, but make sure you got a plan behind it.
Okay, so let me qualify what you're saying, brother, so that we ain't sending people out to. Yeah, Corey said I should take the $50,000 and take it to the racetrack. No, I'm like, okay. So we go. Let's qualify what he was saying. He's saying that when he started his business, he already, number one, had a plan. Number two, he had information. He had a lot of information already. He had studied it. Number three, he had a lot of experience in it too. So he had some experience in what he was doing. It wasn't just him going out in a business that he doesn't know nothing about. He don't have any clue, and he just gonna go ahead and do it just because he think it's a good idea. A lot of good ideas are laying in the cemetery. So we don't want just to have a good idea. That's good to have a good idea, and it's good to take chances. But you want to take a chance on something that has the best option to make it to the finish line. So how you have the best option? Get information. The brother has gave us a lot of information. Number two, if you're gonna start a business, you should study the business. I think a good rule of thumb is study your three best competitors. Study the three people that are making the most money in that business. See how they moving. See how they doing things, and then see how you can closely compete with them. As far as I'm concerned, this is just my business. I'm gonna ask Brother Corey exactly the same thing, and then get informed. Get some information about your business. If you're gonna take a chance on it, take a chance on something that you got a lot of information about. Don't just like even Corey. Let me ask you, even you, wouldn't you say that it would be better to not just jump into the trucking business, but not just jump into trucking business, but jump into getting your own authority and trying to start your own business without having at least some information about it and some experience about it and knowing more about it?
Right.
You probably be more successful, right?
I feel like you need that. A lot of people I know people, they call me and email me to this day. They're just trying to just jump into it.
Right.
I feel like you should get the experience that you need and then kind of know the business a little bit, before you just jump out there and start buying equipment and stuff like that. I got people wanting to buy trucks, they don't even got a CDL yet. And so because you don't need a CDL to buy the truck,
Right.
They're like, oh, I'm gonna buy the truck and I'm gonna just, saying I'm gonna set it up till I get ready. I mean, you can do
Right.
that, if you got the money to do it or whatever the
Right.
case may be, that's totally up to you. But like you said, you should know what you're getting into. That way you can make an educated decision. Because that way, if you do fail at it, at least you know that you had a plan. You went,
Right.
and then you'll know where to go from there. You'll know how to put it all back together, or you'll know what you did wrong, so you can start over again and stuff like that. So when it comes to the business credit and stuff like that, you definitely want to have a plan on what you want to do, and it's all about leveraging. You want to leverage the options and opportunities you have available to you to get to where you're trying to go, or get the funds that you need. So if I know that I need this equipment to get my business off the ground, then I'll do it. And then also too, if you already got, let's say if you already got a truck and you want to expand, that I already got an established business. I'm already making money doing this. I already know what I'm doing. Now I feel like I'm ready. I can leverage my credit to go get another truck, and bring that on. And then, we work with that one, and that's how you start expanding. So you're definitely going to want credit to start expanding if that's something that you want to do. If you want to come into whatever business you are getting set up for, and you got the option, and you got the mindset that eventually I want to expand, you got to master the first part, the foundation first. Then once you master it and you worked on your credit, now you don't have to use your money. You don't have to use your own money no more. You can take the money, the bank money, and use their money and leverage that to get where you want to go. And that's what it's all about. It's all about not spending your own money, leveraging the bank money for your opportunity and for your benefit.
Right. And say it again, Brother Corey, because you said it so eloquently. This ain't free money. This man ain't talking about.
It's not free money. It's not free money. But I definitely want to use their money to make money. It ain't free, but it's not your money. And that could be a good thing. Using somebody else's money that's not yours to make you some money, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's why the right debt is good debt. If the bank say, you know what, Corey, I'm gonna give you $50,000 for a truck, I'm gonna say thank you. I'm gonna go take that $50,000, buy that truck. Now that truck is gonna make me $150,000 a year.
Right.
So I can pay that money back. That money didn't come out of my pocket. I was able to make $100,000 profit.
Right.
So that's what you call good debt.
Right. And see, that what I like about your story is I like that you always had, set the income up first, and then went in to say, okay, I'm established this first, and then I went into this here. I took a chance on myself because I had already established myself in this game and established the income I needed to make this payment. So now I'm able to do it, and then it just expanded from there. That's what I like. Because see, a lot of people, man, they will do stuff like they'll borrow against their house. I don't know if you're familiar with a show called Shark Tank. You see people on there, man, and they go in there and they like, hey, I borrowed my last, $250,000 out of my house to put this all together to come on this show and everything. And they get up there on the show and the people say, man, that is a horrible idea, right? You're never gonna make no money doing that, man. I seen a dude cry on there, man. He's like, I took my children's college funds, I did all of this stuff, it's gotta work. And the dude was like, this is never gonna work, right? So I'm saying that to say, in my opinion, the cat that was on there, he didn't really look at he wanted it so bad, he didn't look at the marketplace and survey the marketplace and say, hey, is there room, like you said, hey, there's room for me to make enough money, there's room for everybody to make enough money in trucking. Okay, this makes sense. But to me, the kind of business I forget the kind of business he was doing. He was making some type of thing. But anyway, the business that he was doing, he didn't survey the marketplace. He thought, I'm going to create this marketplace. I'm going to create the desire for it. And you got to have money to do that as well. You can't just go in and say, I have money to produce the product. Now you got to have money to market it and create this desire for it. And so that's going to take money too. And they just kept telling him, man, this is not going to work. Nobody's going to want it. Not enough people that when you can make money is going to want it. That's the point.
See, I wouldn't I wouldn't start no business like that. It's good to follow your dreams if those are things that you believe in. But you got to have something to back that up if you want to go into that type of field,
Right.
That I would, if I do, I would have to start a business that I know that is high in demand.
Right, right.
And then, you'll have enough disposable income to funnel into some things that you want to try, because it may not work and it may not. It may work and it may not. So
see, now that's what I wanted to get to, Corey. I wanted to get to the fact that, okay, if you're going to borrow this money from Navy Federal, Bank of America, whoever you're going to borrow this money from to start this business, you should at least have the disposable income as a backup plan to it. Maybe it won't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if it don't work? And a lot of people don't think about, what if this don't work? Like that man, he was just like, it's got to work. And he started busting down, start crying on the show and all that. But you know what? What difference? You know what I'm saying? What difference does that make? You can cry all you want, man. People ain't going to buy what they don't want. You know what I mean? Well, you got to have something that's in demand that people want. And then you could go and research it from there. And like I said, but the main point I want to make about what we were talking about today was that don't just go out here and borrow this money. Don't just go out here. Have a plan, like Brother Correy was saying. Have a plan in the background so that you ain't just putting yourself out there. And if it don't work, then you ain't got no way to pay back the $500 a month, or you ain't got no way to do that. Have a backup plan. Well, just in case this don't work, this is the money I'm gonna have out of my disposable income to be able to take care of that payment if the business can't pay for itself. If it don't pay for itself in a year, it'll pay for itself in a month. Because most of us ain't gonna be like Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, 13 years they didn't make no money. They was paying people with stock, right? Microsoft stock. Now they all billionaires, right? But most of us ain't gonna be like that, right? So we're gonna have to figure out a way to pay for it. But Brother Corey, let me check this. I think Sister Don says it's another one. Knowledge and relationships. Salute, sir. Salute, sir. Thank you for coming over and checking us out, man. I got this brother here dropping so many jewels, man. Look like a diamond store over here, man. He dropping all these jewels on us. You can come back and check out the replay. That's another one of my brother's heart knowledge and relationships. Good brother M3.
Good.
Brother Correy. So now, if let's say how much income should I have in relationship to the debts that I have? In other words, like if I borrow this money from Navy Federal, let's say I borrowed $10,000. Let's say I got
my that's my little
yeah, man, all good, brother, all good. Salute to the little soldier. So let's say I borrowed a $10,000, man. I borrowed this $10,000. How much should I be prepared to pay back on a monthly basis? Because you were talking about having a certain level of what did you call it? Credit utilization. On the $10,000 loan, what would the good credit utilization be on that loan or payback number or whatever?
Well, that would be interest rate. So credit utilization is only on that's only on revolving accounts like credit cards. So that's more of like an installment loan. So if you borrow $10,000, they're gonna say your interest rate is 10% or whatever the case may be.
Okay. Let's put it on a credit card then. Let's say, like you said, hey, today is the last day you can buy this printing press. Oh, this is the last day. Yeah, this is the last day. And you got it, it costs $4,000. So I ain't got time to set up a what do you call that, line of credit. I got to use my credit card, right?
Right.
My secure credit card. So I use my secure credit card. Bang. All right. So now, how much? Now you talking about credit utilization. what should I be looking to see? Because what I'm trying to do, brother, is I'm trying to find a place where the people can understand how much income they would need to fall back on the credit purchase that they borrowed if the investment doesn't, if they don't make an immediate return on the investment.
Right.
So is there a number that you could say, oh, well, because I remember you said 30% of credit utilization. Can you go into that for us and try to help us try to figure that out?
Well, if you do it on a business credit card, then you wouldn't have to really worry about it too much because it's not going to be affecting you at all. So that's definitely will give you the opportunity to revolve that. So let's say you bought that printing press for $4,000, you put it on your credit card. Now, yeah, you would have to. You're not going to pay the $4,000 right back that same month. So you could kind of like use the print press, start making money with it. And what you should do is you should start immediately taking as much as the profits as you can that you're making and paying that credit card back till you get it completely paid off. That's the way that I would go with it. I would with credit cards, I can't really say how much the monthly payment gonna be, but you won't be responsible for nothing but the minimum payment. So the minimum payment on a credit card, if you spend $4,000, you're probably talking about maybe not even $100 a month. Right. So so you pay that 100, but just know that if you do that, make sure you're paying at least double the minimum back. So you can cover the interest payments that you're gonna be, and keep that interest in mind. That the longer you let that balance revolve, the more interest you're going to be occurring. Right. So what you want to do is, spend it, get that printing press, and then you're making money using that. Pay that first. My first priority would be to pay that card back off to zero.
Right, but my question is, brother, what should the backup plan look like? You know what I mean? Like what if the printing press don't make no money? Then what? What should I be prepared to do if the printing press ain't making no money? As far as
get another job, get some sorts of income. You can continue to work on that on the side if it ain't working or whatever, but you're gonna have to get some source of income to pay that card back off. That's just the realization of it, because you can't say, well, I'm gonna just keep at this and you ain't making no money doing nothing. Me personally, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get that $4,000 back. So if I gotta go drive Ubers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get the money, So that's what you should find if it's not working right now, because a lot of times, your business gotta get out there, especially if you in the if you're producing a product or selling a product or a service, your name got to get out there. So some of that times that stuff takes time,
Right.
So you can get the printing press for, like, if you're making shirts, for example. I got this printing press because I'm making t-shirts. You ain't selling them t-shirts right now. So that's not to say that it ain't gonna work later. You went on and use your credit card to get everything rolling, but you know that you got to make that money back. So you'll do whatever it takes. So that's kind of similar to what I did. I had to, if my backup plan, if it didn't work, I knew that I can go drive trucks for a company somewhere,
Right.
And make, because I still got my CDL, so I can go make some money some type of way to pay for whatever the case may be. So, you're going to just have to go find the money to pay it back, because you can't just let it, go by the wayside, fall by the wayside. You have to do whatever it is necessary to get that money. And then hopefully what happens for you is that, it'll pay off. You'll start making some money to be able to pay the cards off, or pay the printing press off or the credit card off, before, you have to quit your job. Because if I'm starting a business like that, I probably will already have some type of income anyway. Okay. It's not like I was unemployed and then I was like, you know what? I got this credit card. I'm just about to start a business.
Yeah, some of our people think like that, brother. Some of our people do that.
Yeah, me personally, I will already have some type of income doing something. Like I say, it's too many ways right now. You can go drive Uber, do a DoorDash or whatever if you got a vehicle or something, like, because a lot of people don't like. I get it. You don't like the 9 to 5. So go drive Uber or something, DoorDash, or whatever. They do have
Right.
some type of income coming in.
Right.
So
Right. See, the reason why I'm saying this, but Corey, you are blessed enough, man, to be able to have walked out of this situation. A lot of our people, man, they trapped mentally in the thinking of the way we think. So we got to we got to spoon feed them into understanding that it's gonna take time, man, and you not being negative by having a backup plan. I was talking to my son one day, man, and he was talking about starting a business. And I said, okay, yeah, that sounds fine. My son's 26. But I said, yeah, that sounds fine, man. But you need to have a backup plan until it works, until your backup plan, you don't need your backup plan no more. He was like, what?
right.
You being negative, man. I can do it. I can make it work. I said, no, man, I ain't being negative. I'm just saying you should be prepared for all instances, just in case something happened. It won't rock your life like you was talking about rocking your credit, right? You do something and it don't work, and then your credit is bam.
Maybe
You don't want to have
yeah. A lot of people they don't like the backup plan because it's gonna they look at it as some type of negative thing. So
right,
okay, if you for certain that your business idea is going to work, that's fine. You don't call it a backup plan. At least have some type of funding to fund your idea to make it work. Like, you got to have you got to be making, if your business isn't producing and making money right now, then you need to have something behind it. That's why we say backup plan. Not saying
right,
that you're going to give up on it or,
right,
it's not working. So you're just going to give up on it. You don't have to, I mean, for as long as you can afford to fund the business and continue to purchase the the equipment that you need or the necessities that you need to operate your business, then you can keep doing it for however long as you want, until you get it to work. But if you don't have no money coming in and then let alone you don't went out and borrowed money to
right,
fund this stuff, you're
right,
going to have to pay that back. Otherwise, you just digging yourself in a deeper hole. So if I did, jump out there on a limb and say, you know what, I'm going to finance some of the things that I need for my business, then I would take on more responsibility and put that responsibility on myself and say, hey, if the business that I took out this loan for is not making money, then I have to go do something to pay for this and still work on it. So now you're going to have to work twice as hard, which is fine because you're trying to start a business, you're trying to get your business to start making you money so you can pay yourself through your business and stuff. But sometimes if you do that, just know that you'll have to go and find another way to bring in some money to fund your business until it start making money on its own.
man, brother. Now, we talked about building your personal credit. You gave us some good information. We talked about getting business credit. You talked about getting business credit through Navy Federal.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how to kind of how to structure, how to do things to where you can, what you talking about with the rewards card, paying things and not only just using your debit card when you're not getting nothing for it, but you're actually using a rewards card when you're actually getting something back for it, right? You're actually getting, like you said, flyer miles or whatever else, cash or whatever you're getting, the benefits you're getting out of having the rewards card set up. So you talked about a lot of different things, brother. Is there any other information that you want to give out to kind of wrap it up or cap it on?
Yeah. No, I would just say, let's just start training yourself and becoming more disciplined when it comes to your personal credit report, especially, if you want to be a business, if you want to start a business, if we're talking about Navy Federal business cards, right? So obviously we're talking about you having a business. Like it's no reason that we should go into having or being a business owner with bad credit, So
Right.
we want to work on our personal credit. I've had bad credit at once, like at some point, but I didn't let that stop me. As like it was like the end of the world, because I know a lot of people right now, to this day, even my family members, they fell down that trap with purchasing the car, not paying for it, getting repossessions and stuff like that. And then once their credit became bad, they didn't take any necessary steps or even worried about getting it fixed, you know. So if that's, you know, the situation that a lot of us is in, you know, we want to take the steps to get that repaired. Now, to my people that are young that haven't made that mistake yet, I encourage you to, you know, use everybody that's around you as an example of what you don't want to do is ruin your credit starting out at all. Like you want to always keep it on a good foot and don't get into situations that you can't control with credit cards specifically. If you get these credit cards, you pay them off. Do not use them like it's your money, because it's not. You know, you use them for everyday things that you need and you have the money for it, and pay them to zero. If you do have to revolve a balance, make sure you got a plan in mind that you're going to get this card paid off within the next month or 2 months. And by doing that, like I said, you'll be in good shape. Everybody will be able to, you know, do what they want to do later on down the road. If you want to start a business, your credit will be in good shape and you don't have to worry about trying to fix it and go down some of the roads that we have to take. Like myself, to get to where I'm at today was trying to get all this stuff fixed and repaired and recovered and all this other stuff.
All of us,
you
brother.
know, so,
all of us, brother.
like all of the above. So just, you know, just pay your credit card bills and, you know, get some good accounts and keep your credit card, like I said, keep your credit card balances at zero and get some good accounts on your credit that you're paying for, and you'll be good. You know, keep your credit utilization at zero and keep your payment history 100%. Make sure you pay everything that you got a loan on. Any type of body that you owe money that reports to your credit bureau, make sure you pay them. Don't let it go 30 days late. Because that's when they report. They report after 30 days. If you ain't pay them, they're going to report it to your credit report, and that's going to look bad for a long time. So that in itself should really discourage people from messing up their credit, because once you mess up your credit, it takes 7 years. 7 delinquencies take 7 years to fall off. So you don't want to. That's something that you definitely want to avoid. So keep your credit utilization at zero, and keep your on-time payments at 100%, and you'll have good credit.
And also, you said you can go to Credit Karma or Credit Sesame and check your credit for free. So the only thing that makes your because some of us was under the impression that if you check your credit through these like companies called Credit Karma and Credit Sesame, it's going to affect your credit. But now you just explained only the hard inquiry will affect your credit. And really, what really happens is the banks look at it like this: if you have the hard inquiry and then you don't have a purchase behind it, they look at it like, oh well, your credit wasn't good enough to do it or whatever, right? So it didn't go through, and they look at it like, oh man, well, you know, and so they charge you for that. So that's why we saying you don't have to. Well, go ahead, Corey, if you got something to say on that.
No, that's right. It's an inquiry. Like, so too many of them can affect your credit too. So that's you know, just by looking at it. But that's only a hard pull. Like somebody want to pull, like when they do a hard pull, they pulling everything about your credit report.
Right.
You know, some places, like you could go right now if you just want to see if you would qualify for a credit card, right?
Right.
Capital One, even Navy Federal, they have a pre-qualification tool on their website. So basically, you go to the website and it'll say, see if you qualify without hurting your personal credit score. What they're doing right there is called a soft pull. So they basically taking a peek at your credit, and that's not going to show up on your credit report. You know, your credit score is not going to be affected by that. So that's kind of something similar to what these things is doing, but it's all happening in the background. I can check it as many times as I want. So download Credit Karma and look at your credit report, and you can see exactly what's on it, and it's not going to affect your credit score whatsoever. you can go to Capital One and see if you qualify for a credit card without affecting your credit. You can put your information in, and Capital One is going to show you like, hey, you approved for this, or you're not approved for anything right now. And then you
Right.
can go back and look at getting a secure credit card. But if you are watching this, you can go right now, go to Capital One, go to USAA. If you not USA, Navy Federal, I'm sorry, go to Navy Federal. But like I said, you got to be a member of Navy Federal already. So
Right.
if you're starting out and you don't know nobody in the military until you find somebody, I recommend Capital One, or go to your bank and see if you can get credit cards from them. But if you want to go to a credit card company and see if you qualify for your very first credit card right now, I started out, Capital One was my very first credit card ever, probably like 10, 12 years ago now. And I still have that same card to this day. I still have that same credit card to this day, that same one, my very first one. You can go to Capital One right now and see if you qualify without hurting your credit. Now, what's going to happen is, if you go and Capital One say, yep, you approve for this credit card right here, do you want to continue? When you click that continue, that's when that's going to result in a hard pull on your credit. But at that point, you already know that you approved. So that would make you go forward with it, and one inquiry won't hurt you. You know, it'll lower your credit score, but by you adding that to your account, you got an account that's a credit card. You're going to be on your way to, you know, getting your credit rebuilt, reestablished, and improving your credit by just doing that. So, but Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, they experience, by looking at your credit reports on there, it does not affect your credit. So,
all right, man. Well, thank you, brother Correy. You are the man. I want to have you come back, because I go to your channel a lot, and I see a lot of different videos that you have on a lot of different topics, man, and especially on the business topics. And you come off so sincere, brother, that it really is. It really makes me, you know, want to listen to more of your videos, man. So, I'm gonna let you shout out your channel, man. But I'm gonna put all the stuff in the description. But you can shout out your channel and shout out anything that you got coming up or whatever you want to talk about, man. So go ahead and do that.
Yeah, well, you know, my channel is I'm Comos on YouTube. You can type it in, it'll pop up. If you spoke to me already, you know that I'm kind of really accessible. You know, if you shoot me an email at friends@imcommos.com, it typically comes right to my phone. You know, it's a lot of them, and I try to go through all of them. So I'm accessible if you want to, you know, shoot me an email if you got a question about anything. Of course, my Instagram and all the social media stuff, I check those too, not as often as if you email me, but if you saw my Instagram, I am Comos on Instagram. It's IAMKOMOS on Instagram, and it's IMKOMOS on YouTube. You can pretty much shoot me a message on any of those on Instagram. I'll probably eventually get it or see it. But if you want to ask me a question about anything, I'm pretty accessible. You can reach me at friends@imkomos.com, friends@imkomos.com. If you guys want to, you know, hit me up if you got any questions. So I appreciate everybody for watching me as usual. And I thank, you know, bro Clarence for having me on. This is my second time on here, and it's been great. I told him an hour, and then, you know, we just got to talk about all this stuff. And then, you know, look, organically 2 hours later.
I try to respect it, man. I know you busy, man. You got your family. I tried to, but I know you just got so much passion about this stuff, man. You feel for the people. You just want to do it. So I appreciate it. And we could all see it's coming from your heart, brother. So I appreciate you. But I'm gonna stay on your head about putting together a class, man, or put together a book, man. I'm gonna do that, because I think you got a lot of information, but you're leaving a lot of money on the table by not doing it. So I'm gonna stay on top of you about that. But I thank you, brother Correy, for coming by. I'm gonna put all of brother Correy's information in the description down below, so you can check him out and get more information from him. Of course, we only was 2 hours. As this brother can talk for, you can tell he knows what he's talking about. So he's got way more information than he could just drop in 2 hours. So go to his page, check out. He's got many videos about many different topics. Go check him out. Thank you, brother Correy. I appreciate you. Salute you, sir. And we'll get back to you next time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. All right, that was brother Correy. What y'all think? Is he a slam dunk? Brother Correy ain't no joke, man. Don't even don't even play with him, man. Brother Correy is no joke, right? What y'all think about that? Brother said, Brother Clarence, I only got an hour. He said, I only got an hour. And then the brother came on and he did 2 hours. Man, I mean, see, I'm telling you, man, when you get to a certain point, you can see good people, man. You can rock right, you can flow right to them. You know, this person is a good person, man. He, I didn't expect him to do the 2 hours. I kept looking at the clock like, oh man, he's gonna tell me he gotta go. If I hadn't ended, he probably would have did another hour. As I'm looking at his son coming in the room, I said, man, I gotta cut this down because he needs time for his family, and I appreciate what he did, the time he gave us. Right? What do you think? Is Brother Corey for real? He is solid. Where I come from, he's what we call solid cat. Giving and doing it and giving it away. I gotta slow him down because something about y'all, most of us, we will not move on information if it's free. Most of us, we got to pay for it. So we are to be motivated to use it, put it to use. Most of us. So I'm trying to get him to put a book together, but that's okay. I'm gonna work with him. I'm still working, just like I'm working with Brother Daniel. I'm working with these cats, man. They just ain't got no free time because they're doing so many different things. But I'm gonna work with them to put together something so that you could just pick it up, look at it real easy, maybe a PDF file that you can look at real easy, and you could see, hey, this is real. You can put together a step-by-step guide for you to get your credit together, get you some business credit, and do some things, man. Do some things. You may not want to be in the trucking business, but you might want to be in another kind of business. So, you know what I mean? And having good credit is never a bad thing, right? So I salute to everybody. I salute everybody that came through. Sister Dawn, Brother M3, and anybody else that stopped in. Any of you guys that stopped in on the replay, you're going to have to look at this about 2 or 3 times before you can get everything that he was saying. Because I missed a couple of things that he was saying because I'm in the background setting other stuff up. But you got to come back and look at this another time and see. So stop. You can be in the kumbaya, go to the kumbayas and stay over there in the kumbayas where they're talking about, baby mamas and, kumbaya. It's all hugging each other. But you have to come back over here. We're talking for real, for real. We're talking for real, for real. And we're talking about how to come from the curb, not from I'm already established doing this and that. This man came from nowhere and made himself and built himself up and is still building himself up. I salute to that young man, Corey, because you want to do the same thing, right? Some of us are not, we're not attorneys and lawyers and doctors and pilots and all this other stuff. And, and we not that. Some of us are starting from nothing. And so we're the ones going through the rubble, trying to find the people trying to start from nothing. All right. Go watch some kumbaya stuff. But when you get tired of the kumbaya stuff and you need some real truth information, come here because we're going to give it to you. All right. With that being said, y'all, peace to y'all. Thank y'all for stopping by on a Saturday morning. And we will see y'all in the next installment. That will be tomorrow. I'm going to get the topic later. I don't have a topic right now, but I got about 3 of them on the table. So I'll get the topic and then we'll put it up and then y'all stop by tomorrow and see what's happening. 11:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, y'all. Peace.